Gentlemen, ready? Good evening and welcome to the January 21st, 2026 meeting of the City of Tuscaloosa Planning and Zoning Commission. Any written comments have been sent to staff and were forwarded to the commission directly. At this time, I'd like to introduce staff: Jimbo Woodson, Deputy City Attorney; Michael Garner, City Engineer; Zach Pons, Director of Planning; Leota Coyne, Principal Planner. There are 9 members of the Planning Commission, all who were appointed by the mayor for staggered terms with the exception of the City Council representative who is appointed by the City Council. I ask the commissioners to introduce themselves and state their occupation, beginning with Ms. Hornsby.
Ann Hornsby, attorney.
And real quick, everybody, make sure your microphones are on, and we've been asked by staff to be sure we speak into the microphones.
Okay.
All right.
Sound-
Good.
Yep, we're good. Councilwoman Raven Howard, District 2.
Vince Dooley, UA Campus Planning.
Eddie Pugh, retired.
Stephen Rumsey, business owner.
Dina Prince, attorney.
Portia Clark, 311 manager.
Tim Harrison, general contractor.
Bill Wright, business owner. There were sign-up sheets located outside for public comment. 4 speakers are allowed to speak in favor of a petition, and 4 speakers are allowed to speak in opposition of a petition. All speakers will have a maximum of 5 minutes unless the commission votes to allow a longer time. Tonight's procedures: the commission will take up items in order of our final agenda. The commission will initially receive a presentation from the staff as to the details of the agenda item. Additionally, we may hear certain matters involving the same property, such as an annexation and a rezoning matter concurrently, although we will take separate votes on each matter involving that same property. After the staff presentation, we'll call upon the petitioner to present their case. The petitioner will have a maximum of 10 minutes unless the commission votes to allow a longer time. At the conclusion of the petitioner's remarks, we'll then call on any party in order of sign-up who desires to support the petition. Thereafter, we'll call upon any order who signed up who opposes the petition. When it's your turn for comment, please introduce yourself, stating your name and address to the commission to provide your remarks. Again, any written comments have been included into the record. After receiving the remarks of those who oppose the petition, the petitioner will have the opportunity to respond to those objections. Any rebuttal will be limited to 2 minutes unless the commission votes to allow a longer time. If the petitioner presents any new information in response to the objections, the commission will allow those who oppose the petition the opportunity to respond to the new information only. Any response will be limited to 2 minutes unless the commission votes to allow a longer time. During the course of the presentation, you may be interrupted by any member of the commission for clarification or additional information. Such interruptions will not reduce your time. Once the commission members are satisfied that we have received all relevant information, we'll then close for further discussion by the public, at which time the commission members will discuss the matter and then vote. After the vote, you are free to leave. These proceedings are video recorded and broadcast live. All in-person public comments should be made at the podium into the microphone. Jurisdiction. In all matters pertaining to the following items, this commission serves as the final authority: subdivisions located within the city limits, subdivisions located outside the city limits but within the city's planning jurisdictions, developments with a special district, and approval letters for developments in historic buffer zones. As to all remaining agenda matters, including annexations, rezonings, planned developments, and street vacations, this commission serves as a recommending body of the City Council. In that regard, our decisions are in the form of a recommendation presented to the City Council, and the City Council will make the final decision on those matters. Subdivision approval requires the affirmative vote of 6 members of the Planning Commission. All matters which are recommendations to the City Council require a majority vote for an affirmative recommendation. At this time, I'd ask, do any members of the Commission have any conflicts of interest as to any agenda matters before us tonight? If so, please state for the record. Having heard none, I would ask the staff to confirm on the record that proper notice has been given to all parties in interest as required by law as to all matters before the commission tonight.
It has.
All right, the following agenda, there's been some changes. The following agenda items have been modified. S0526 Baker's Court, consisting of 2 lots on 0.7 acres located at 1104 16th Avenue, Council District 4. Do I hear a motion and a second to move this items on the agenda to the cases requesting to withdraw? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Those opposed, ayes have it. We have S0426, a resurvey of Lot 1, Nutter's Run, consisting of 3 lots on 7.4 acres located at 17719 Highway 43 North, not in the city limits. Do I hear a motion and a second to move this item on the agenda to the request for continuance? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Any comments from the commission? With that, we will begin with approval of the minutes. As the Planning and Zoning Commission has received the synopsis for the December 2025 meeting, I move that we dispense with the reading of the minutes of the same unless there are any deletions, additions, or corrections. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Those opposed? Ayes have it. Staff, we will begin.
Good evening, Commission. Starting off tonight with the consent agenda, we have 2 items. We did not receive any public comment, and we did not have anyone sign up out front.
Last chance for anyone to have any care to speak for or against the consent agenda items of S0226 or S0326. Having heard none, Commission, before us, we have the consent agenda items. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Those opposed, ayes have it.
All right, moving into our cases requesting to withdraw. First up, we have 3 here. If you could vote on each individually, that'd be preferred by staff. We received 1 public comment. These are a companion case, and the applicant is here to request that withdrawal.
Okay. Applicant, our petitioner.
Hey, Bryce Gifford on behalf of Half Price, working through a few title issues. Would like to request a withdrawal.
Any questions for Mr. McGifford? Thank you. All right, Commission, we have 3 companion cases that we need to take individual votes on for withdrawal. First, we have Z2725. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Those opposed, ayes have it. S10125. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Those opposed, ayes have it. Finally, SD0625. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Those opposed, ayes have it.
All right, Commission, 1 additional case requesting to withdraw, and the applicant is here to request that.
Kevin Hinkle, Montgomery Hinkle, Inc., 203 Hargrove Road East, representing the Baker's Court, and withdraw it. May try to come up with something at a later date, but not pursuing it at this time.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right, Commissioner, before us have an additional withdrawal request of S0526 Baker's Court. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Those opposed, ayes have it.
All right, next up, we have a few cases requesting to continue. First is S10625. This was continued prior to notice, so no vote is needed. And then we have S0426 also requesting to continue, and the applicant is here to request that continuance.
Petitioner.
Kevin Hinkle of Montgomery and Hinkle, Inc., 203 Hargrove Road East, Tuscaloosa, representing Nutter's Run, has to continue it, working out some issues with the county.
All right. Commission, for us, we have S0426 requesting continuance. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Those opposed, ayes have it.
All right, Commission, moving into our cases to be heard tonight. First up, we have a rezoning petition that is Z0126. The City of Tuscaloosa petitions to rezone approximately 11 acres located at 914 through 920 14th Avenue East and 2 through 37 Beverly Heights from SFR4 to SFR1. This is Council District 5. You can see we are just east of the Highlands here, near the University Boulevard, McFarland Boulevard interchange. You can see that subdivision today. And just to clarify, When mailers were sent, we had originally included this parcel. After looking at it further, it falls more in the adjacent subdivision, so it has been removed from this request. You can see that zoning today, it is SFR4. The petition, the city is requesting to rezone from SFR4 to SFR1 at the request of Councilman Tyner. You can see in framework, this is identified as traditional neighborhood edge. This request does conform to the plan as well as the use, and to clarify, all SFR zonings would conform to this future land use character. You can see that identified here. Here are permitted uses. You can see SFR1 only permits single-family detached, and that was kind of the purpose for this request. We received one comment in support and one comment in opposition to this request. Do you have any questions for staff?
So again, this was part of framework, which we worked on for how many months?
A gazillion.
Yeah.
Right, yeah, if you want
This,
exact
this body
dates.
approved that.
Right,
framework.
so from April 22 to December 24.
And city council approved as well.
That's right.
I think we had 29 or 26
I
meetings.
think 31, actually, I just
31
counted them.
31 meetings
Yes,
on
sir.
this over the course of 2 years.
Yes, sir.
And now, I guess my question is why the request from the city?
So Mr. Towner reached out after some opposition from the neighbors within this area. He had requested to rezone this to SFR1 to just allow single-family detached homes.
That's his, I mean,
That's the reason he's requesting it tonight, yes, sir.
is that his rationale? I'd really like to understand his rationale.
Yeah, that's my understanding of why he wants this up here tonight is because, so essentially SFR4, which it is today, allows for duplexes as well as townhomes, in addition to single-family detached homes. A duplex is currently being built by right, no variances or anything like that, on 2 Beverly Heights. I believe the developer is at this meeting tonight and can speak more on that. The neighboring area ended up starting to reach out to Mr. Tyner with concerns about that duplex being built there with the thinking that they only allowed single-family detached homes on these properties.
So that obviously triggered the neighborhood to respond to Mr. Tyne, Councilman Tyne.
Right, yes, sir.
Because it was a duplex, nothing
Because of the duplex being constructed there, yes, sir.
not because of the height.
I think they're concerned about the height, but it's the same height if it's SFR1 or SFR4.
So SFR1, you could, if height was a concern, then that concern's invalid because SFR1, they could still do the height.
35 feet for both districts, yes, sir.
Okay.
Zach, do you know if any parcels have changed hands during the time that we?
I do not know that. I think maybe the one that's being constructed on has changed hands from January when we've implemented this new code to now. They could speak more on that, but I'm not sure of any others that have.
How many of the what's the ownership makeup of Beverly Heights as far as investor related to, as opposed to?
Right, so we have like the homestead exemption. We have looked at that map, and I think there are maybe 4 or 5 owners who live in this area versus renters, I believe, or investors.
Jimbo, let me ask you a legal question from a city standpoint. If we did the rezoning, obviously during framework, and if we now go back and just flip it back to where it was, is there any legal recourse anybody should have in there against the city or us because of damages?
Not really. It's not a taking to downzone the property.
Why isn't it?
Is it not, I mean, I guess down zoning, you know, are we not up zoning in this case? I mean, one could argue the other way, couldn't it?
Well, it's making the property more restricted, let's put it that way. And they still have viable economic use of the property. That's why it's not taking.
It appears that there's a freestanding home on every one of these lots as well already, correct? So, yeah, it's not as if preventing the development of the property altogether.
Right, I think the one that's being developed currently, there was a fire, and then they demolished it and rebuilt.
So you're telling me that if you had a property that was zoned for 100 apartment units and you could still build a single-family home, that would not be a taking because you could still develop a single-family home? I know that's not the case here. I'm just,
Yeah, let's not stick with apples and apples, but
well, I
that's a
mean,
completely
2
different.
units over 1 unit is still 100%.
There is a case which goes through an analysis, but it's very difficult to have a taking when you have a viable economic use because you have a less profitable one.
And you know, I do not like this commission being put in this position we're in here, especially with the current neighborhood, obviously thinking that they had a SFR R1 adjacent to them, and year past, they didn't. Now we've got a home being built by right in there. I just really think it puts this commission in a bad position, to be honest with you. So,
Normally, we ask for the petitioner to come forward and state their case. I'm assuming you stated your case.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I'm just giving you what I understand from why Mr. Tyner.
We don't have any representation to truly argue. You're the staff that has to negotiate this, but there's no petitioner going to stand up here and give us their case. Now, we'll have some people that will speak for or against, but I feel like there should be a representative that's driving this to state, give us a case.
I agree with Bill. It's one thing for us to argue for the city's rights, but if we've got the right information and the right ammunition, if we don't understand what the rationale is from the petitioner, and you being a petitioner who can't explain it to me, I got a problem trying to make a decision. Personally.
Okay? I think that's on the record. So I guess, any other comments before we call up? Do we have a list of anybody who cares to speak?
We didn't have anyone sign up.
No one signed up. Okay, we're still going to open it up.
Right.
Zach, I really would have felt better about some sort of decision on this.
Hold on, I think,
I really would have felt better about some sort of decision this had there been some conversations between the two sides with the city and the complainants, I guess, and the current owner of that. And apparently there wasn't. Is that correct?
I'm not sure. I know that the person who is constructing it today is here. Constructing the duplex today is here in person, so they could answer if they had talked to Mr. Tyner.
Okay.
But I know that a lot of the neighbors in the area that have reached out to staff have talked to Mr. Tyner.
Okay.
Well, we don't have anyone that has signed up. I think there are representatives from both sides. I think it'd be worth hearing, at least, let's this body hear it. It might not, I still think there needs to be a representative from the city here. So, again, we do have the ability to have someone, let's go with anybody who's in favor of this. I'm only going to allow 4 people, and you're limited. So would anyone care to speak for their cause? Please come forward, state your name and address for the record.
I'm sorry, I'm hard of hearing, so I don't know exactly what's being said. I do know that there's a sign up somewhere that I missed.
Okay,
Is
so
it
give
too
give
late
us
for
give
me
us
to
your
retroact?
name and address for the record, and you've got a couple of minutes to
Okay.
have your words.
Richard Evans, 25 Beverly Heights. We've been at 25 Beverly Heights for 30 years, my wife and I. We have raised all of our children there, and we are, I am unfortunately, apparently the only representative from our neighborhood tonight.
Can I ask you a question? On the map, where's 25? Just out of curiosity. Can y'all point it out?
I'm not 100%
It's
sure.
directly behind
Is it this
Holy
one?
Cross Lutheran Church,
Oh.
which is diagonally across from number 2 Beverly Heights.
Is it that
Is that
one
it?
that I circled on the screen there?
Correct.
Okay,
Yep.
go ahead.
Okay. So we've been there for 30 years. We've raised our children there. We've survived a tornado, a devastating fire, and the loss of a child in this house. We have a vested interest in this neighborhood and our neighbors. So we were disturbed to find that this neighborhood had been, after 70-something years as a single-family neighborhood, been rezoned without any notice to any of the neighbors of our neighborhood or the neighbors in the Highlands who are also affected. It had been rezoned from single-family to SFR4. The only reason I found that out was I walked in one day and saw 2 permits tacked to a tree and called the city and was told that it is now, as of last year, 1st of last year, SFR4. The way this was done was disturbing enough, but then when this project was begun, we realized what an enormous project it is. It's 3 bedrooms and 3 baths, one on top of the other. So a 6-bedroom, 6-bath construction in what had previously been on a lot that had previously been a 3-bedroom, 2-bath house. Our concern is with increased traffic that this is obviously going to involve increased traffic and noise and congestion. It's going to adversely impact our enjoyment of our homes. The parking, I'm told, is designated as behind the building, and I can assure you, having lived in this neighborhood as long as I have, that people will be parking on the street. They're not going to navigate this little narrow driveway around to the back of the building, not the 6 residents, minimum 6 residents and their friends. They're not going to navigate around to the back of the building. They're going to park on the street or in the church parking lot across the street. So we are looking at a considerable amount of additional traffic, noise, and congestion. The larger concern, and this is where the Highlands are involved, although the Highlands are affected by this anyway, even aside from anything else that happens. With this current zoning, if there were another calamity that took out another house, or if another property owner sold to a developer, we can assume that there would be no further consideration of the neighbors in any other development than there was for this one. And you really honestly have to see this thing to believe how big it is. It's all out of proportion to the neighborhood. It's technically, I guess, 2 floors, but it looks like 3 floors. And the neighbors behind this house can no longer see the sky from their backyard, from the windows in the back of their houses, of their house. So we're concerned with the way this has been done with no notice to anyone for any input, and we're concerned about what any further development might look like in the event of another house fire or any other calamity that would take out another property, or someone is persuaded to sell to a developer.
Mr. Evans, you're one of the handful of owners that live in the neighborhood, correct?
That's correct.
I rode through there just to kind of get a lay of the land. It looks like there's currently a lot of, I guess the remainder of the houses are investment properties and probably being rented out to individuals.
There are a lot of rentals. When we moved in 30 years ago, there were an awful lot of elderly people, as we are now, and those folks have died out or been moved to assisted living or whatever, and their families have either sold out or rented the properties to a great extent. We are not the only owner occupants in this neighborhood. Unfortunately, Dr. McClendon, who owned the veterinarian clinic that is currently behind his house, was not able to be here tonight. Are you here? Okay, well, I didn't realize that. Dr. McClendon lives in our neighborhood, and his sister, she's lived here, Susan, if I may say, for 72 years. We've been here a while. Dr. McClendon and his sister have been here twice as long at least. There are other owner occupants, but those of us most directly affected by this have been here for quite a while.
Could we see hands of people who are here in support of this?
Yeah, can anybody raise their hand? Who's here, I guess, to support this is being requested? Who's here to support this? Okay. 10, 12? Okay. I got blocks. Okay.
These folks, obviously, these are folks from the Highlands who are directly affected and concerned about their property values, and Dr. McClendon and his family, we're concerned about our quality of life.
Mr. Evans, you mentioned that if there was another house fire or a catastrophe
The house that's currently being built, I guess you call it a house, the city calls it a duplex, we call it the lodge, but anyway, there was a 3-bedroom, 2-bath house there just a year or so ago.
How old is the Highlands?
20s.
So the houses in the Highlands are built materially in the 20s, I suppose, and
I'm sorry.
I'm guessing that the houses in the Highlands were probably not large houses at the time. I mean, back in the 20s, I don't think they were.
No, the houses that were built in the 20s are still there.
They are.
Like my house was built in 29.
Dina, let's be sure and talk in the
Oh, I'm
microphone.
sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry.
So do you know how tall your house is?
I have no idea how tall my house is.
Well, I'm just saying that, so if one of the houses was torn down for a fire,
Right.
I'm assuming they wouldn't necessarily be held to that one level, right? I mean, is that,
Well, they can build 2 stories in a SFR1.
what is the height that they allow?
That's a
35 feet.
35 feet in the SFR4.
SFR4
35 feet.
and in SFR1.
I guess one of the points I'm making is I know some people in the house that have 6-bedroom houses, and I know that some of those houses are built on several lots. I don't know how big the lots are. I guess, like some of these lots at the entrance of the Highlands, that might be a single lot, but like a lot of my friends have a lot of houses in the Highlands that are built on several lots. But either way, I'm not sure that you can be protected from the height, at least the way it is right now. I don't think that, is Councilman Tyner asking for a height restriction?
We don't know. I don't know what he's asking.
My understanding in conversations with Councilman Tyner is he's simply asked, there's nothing apparently that can be done about this. He's asking, though, that the neighborhood be rezoned to SFR1, single-family residence. That's my understanding in conversations with him.
That's correct.
So this house would remain zoned for this?
I mean, he's building by rights, it'll be completed, but then it'll be reclassified as SFR1, which I think opens up a whole different can of worms for that gentleman, because then he's got financing and insurance issues and lots of issues, so.
It'd be non-conforming at that
Be
point.
non-conforming, yeah.
Mr. Evans, you said that you did not know that this rezoning had occurred in your neighborhood?
There was no notice. When I noticed the permits tacked to the tree, I was walking my dog, I walked into the neighborhood, saw 2 permits tacked to a tree on the lot where previously there had been a 3-bedroom bathhouse that had burned. I called the city and I asked why there were 2 permits and was told there would be a duplex built there. And I asked at the time if this was not a single-family residence neighborhood, or we were not zoned for single-family residence. I didn't know the term SFR1, but I knew single-family, and I was told that it is now SFR4. I was not told anything else about it and asked my wife, if this seemed accurate to her, she said, since when, was her question. I called back and was told as of last year, this had been rezoned. No notice to anyone.
It was
I
part
have
of part of
a
the
framework.
framework process.
Yes, and that was my question. So this was part of framework, so the notices for this rezoning would have came during framework when we were going through all of that. Is that correct, Mr. Pons?
Right, so the 2-year 31 meeting
All of those
process
notices was about that.
was how to get, yeah, that was the process.
Okay.
It
So
did-
once it was
did not involve any
rezoned-
notices to residents of Beverly Heights or residents of affected properties adjacent.
I understand what you're
was told
saying.
that had I been monitoring the city's planning, your webpage, that information was freely available, to which I responded, who monitors the city's web pages? No offense, but it's not what I typically do. There's no, unless I have some reason to believe that I need to do that, I don't go to the city's web pages to see what you're doing.
Yeah, I just wanted to clear that up, that this rezoning came about during framework. So after framework, and it was suggested by all of the community engagement meetings that this be rezoned, then now that the development that you're talking about, the duplex or the apartment complex, it was already in the specific zoning, so there was no need for the notices, correct? Correct. At that point,
It's
okay.
done by right.
Yes, it was
All
done by
Mr.
right.
Let's, I'm sure we got 3 more that can speak, and then we'll hear from some of those opposed, and then we're going to kind of figure out how we're going to play this. So
Okay.
anyone care to speak against this request? So anybody wants to speak against, I want that side to come first. So wait, or for it, I'm sorry, for it. Like anybody's in Mr. Evans's camp, come forward.
I would like to speak for the rezoning back to.
Come up,
single-family.
okay, you're in the right spot. Give us your name and
Okay.
address for the record, please.
All right, thank you. And may it please the commission, my name is Herschel Hamner. My wife Beth and I live in 104 The Highlands, so we're residents of the Highlands. But the backyard of we're on the easternmost part of the Highlands. Our backyards touch the backyards of Beverly Heights. And we're really close to this, I'm going to use the term loosely, duplex. The back corner of our backyard is just several feet away from the back corner of the duplex. So when the rezoning was done, I guess last year, whenever I think it was a citywide rezoning package, and I know you were mentioning the notice there, the lack of notice, but I won't go into that. The problem with the structure is you anticipate that a duplex, I mean, we didn't know anything about it. We didn't know anything about what was being built there. It was just a fire that occurred and the property was dozed. But when you think of a duplex, it's generally side by side, but this one is one floor above another floor, 3 bedrooms and 3 baths on each floor. And the top, I know you were mentioning the height a few minutes ago, but it's gigantic. I mean, I'm not exaggerating. It's gigantic. It is, it's far bigger than anything in Beverly Heights, and probably larger than most of the houses in the Highlands. But the houses that are directly affected in the Highlands are the ones on our street, the easternmost street, and the property values will definitely go down. And if there are other structures built like this, which would be authorized, and I think this one is a quote duplex. I don't even know how tall a townhouse can be. But it would completely change the character of the neighborhood as far as the houses and the single-family residents of all of Beverly Heights. And it would have an effect on all of the houses in this same row on the same street in the Highlands. It would just be a game changer. And the surprise was the size. Nobody had any knowledge that it would be something like this. So it was a shock. All we're asking is respectfully to please rezone this back to single family 1. so that it will not affect all the residents of Beverly Heights, and it will not affect the residents of the Highlands, and particularly the residents on the eastern side that abut Beverly Heights. We're just asking for your consideration and respectfully requesting that you do that. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, anyone else in support of? Got 2 more spots, and then we're going to go to those who are in favor or opposed to this.
I'm Dale Barksdale, 920 14th Avenue East. My family's owned that property for 50 years. I currently live there for about 15. This was my parents' home before I took it over.
Which one are you, sir? Which house?
If you turn in on the main street, I'm, I think, 4th house on the right.
Okay, y'all circle that, staff?
I back up to the Highlands.
Okay, is that correct?
This monstrosity is about 2 houses down from where I live. My issue is not really so much that big structure, is that none of us had any knowledge that our neighborhood was being rezoned to this status. And if this doesn't change, there's no doubt in my mind that some of these rental homes are going to sell, and we'll start seeing a whole lot more of these big old duplex monsters. And it's just going to turn our neighborhood into a mixed-use ghetto. Parking is terrible there now, and I guarantee you the parking on this duplex is going to be all out in the street. I can't imagine that many people in that one house and what the parking situation is going to be. And this is going to be right in the mouth of that neighborhood. But my issue is the rezoning. It's not so much this duplex. Is that our neighborhood got rezoned without our knowledge under some program y'all keep talking about. When y'all's ordinance says that if we're in 300 foot of rezoning, we're supposed to get a letter being notified. But I don't know what happened in this process. But I think it's only fair y'all put us back to SFR1 and stop this cancer on our neighborhood. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. All right, one more from the in favor of camp. Anyone? Anyone? Last call. All right, let's hear, all right, last person for, name and address for the record, please.
I'm Mitchell Loper in 100 The Highlands, live next door to Herschel, so we back up right to Beverly Heights. I'm an investment advisor with Warrior Investment Group. We manage $500 million, a lot of local money here. So we focus on our clients daily, and that's the only issue I had, is that we just weren't notified. I got a letter for this meeting, and I understand and respect what y'all do, but we weren't notified. We would have been here to have more questions earlier, but I'm sitting there watching client money daily. I'm not watching it like online. And I'm like I said, respectfully, what this board does and committee, but I just would have liked a letter so we could have not gotten to this point. So that's our last statement, but I'm 5th generation Tuscaloosa. I just had Price McGifford fully redo my house. I love Tuscaloosa. There's UA parents that drive through the Highlands and say, this place is beautiful. I'm out walking my dog, and they're like, this place is awesome. It helps sell the university. And I understand that most of the city has moved north of the river. My family's originally from downtown. My grandparents still live in Gills Wood. But Highlands is one of the few neighborhoods that's like family-oriented left. And we're just trying to protect some of the character of the city, which is beneficial to UA and Tuscaloosa. So appreciate what y'all do, and would like to go back to SR1 is my comment.
So
Thank you.
just so we're clear, you understand that the development that's happening there right now is by right. He didn't have to come for anybody, or didn't have to, he's building it by the right of the current zoning.
That's correct. I'm not
Okay.
talking about moving forward. The current builder is doing it by law. I just wish I would have been notified in 2024. Not that I don't respect that y'all had, was it 31 meetings? I respect what y'all do, but I was working for my clients. I need a letter in the mail like I got for this one. That's all I asked. If I had had that, we would have been here.
Which
That's
would have
all
been
it is.
impossible to do, but had to do that citywide probably.
That's
in a lot of
citywide.
places.
Let me say something. You know, we're sitting up here, y'all are telling us you weren't notified. No letters were sent. This was a citywide program. It went on for over 2 years. It was in the paper, it was all over the internet, it was all over the website that this was going on. I'm sorry that somebody had your head in a hole and you didn't see this happen, but it's happened, okay?
Well, I
So we're
understand.
trying to deal with it right now. This commission has been put in a position by a city councilman that did not come up here and make his recommendations so we can understand his reasonings. Had potentially you had town hall meetings or participated in town hall meetings prior to this, we wouldn't be in this position, but we are in this position.
Right.
So I'm sorry you weren't notified. I'm sorry you didn't get the paper. I'm sorry you didn't read. I'm sorry you didn't hear about it. But the majority of Tuscaloosa heard it. So that's not an excuse to me,
Well,
okay?
I respectfully understand, but just wanted to make my point. But not everybody is in the real estate business. Some
I
folks-
understand. I'm in
yeah,
the construction business.
yeah.
I take care of my clients just like you take care
I
of your
understand,
billion-dollar
and-
clients.
And we
okay?
respect you. I was just saying that it is, the Highlands does matter to the city, and I just think preserving that area for the university matters. So thanks for y'all's time. and
You know,
appreciate what
Mr.
y'all
Loper,
do.
guess what? I attended the majority of those 24 meetings, too.
Yeah, I understand, sir.
Thank you.
Okay, I respect what y'all do, too. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, that concludes those who have the ability to speak in favor of this request. Now, anyone care to speak in opposition of this request by the city of Tuscaloosa and the city council person? Again, name and address for the record, please.
David Furman, 6 Buena Vista. I live across the street. I just want to point out, I feel like I've done nothing wrong here. I'm only building under what current code allows. I know this was changed after framework, and I bought it after it was rezoned to SFR4. But I'm investing over $500,000 in this project. I've already borrowed the money. Construction's underway. And I know I'll be granted a non-conforming use if it goes to SFR1, but I have some concerns. If this thing blows away in an EF4 tornado, you know, I'm going to be stuck building back a single-family home. You know, and houses in that neighborhood are roughly selling for about $250,000, and I'm probably going to spend $650,000 in here. So, and I know you'll say, well, you have insurance, but you and I both know after the tornado, if you had lost a house, we lost 16, that insurance doesn't come in here and just pay you replacement cost value. They're going to pay you actual cost value. And then they're going to make you rebuild back to get the remainder portion of your insurance. And I just kind of stand to potentially suffer a financial loss should something happen to this duplex. I don't sell a lot of real estate. We buy and hold. Another issue with the non-conforming use I kind of have is, what if I ever did have to sell this? You know, a lot of lenders may red flag this financing on it to a buyer because of the non-conforming use. So there's just some potential for risk here if you're me and my little family. So, but even if it did just get destroyed, and I had to rebuild back in SFR1, my lot is 7,800 square feet and 80 feet of width. It's my understanding, unless, Zach, you can tell me different, I don't even meet the minimum criteria to build a single-family home back in SFR1, because I think you need 12,000 square feet and 85 feet of width. So what do you do then if you're me, if you got to build back a home? Do I have to come back up here and seek a variance to pull a building permit?
Can I stop you there, Mr. Furman? Is that accurate? Can you?
So one of the reasons that this board and the council had voted to do this as SFR4, and why we brought this forward as SFR4, is the lot sizes. Because the lot sizes for SFR1 are 12,000 square feet. I don't think any of these lot sizes are 12,000 square feet. And so that's what we took as one of our criteria through the framework process, is the lot sizes in relation to what we were going to rezone it as. So to Mr. Furman's point, if he were to want to build a house back, he could build a house back, but he would be very heavily restricted. It's going to be a lot smaller of a house than what you could do for an SFR1 home.
Yeah, okay.
Or lot.
Thank you, Zach.
And look, I got a lot of friends in Highlands and neighbors, and I walk my dog in there 2 to 3 days a week in Beverly Heights in the Highlands. And I've been a landlord in this town for 20 years, and it's my reputation, and I don't take it lightly. So if you ever have a problem with anybody at any of my duplexes, houses that we either own or manage, you can always call me, and I'll take care of it. But I guess what I'm asking is, you know, maybe a compromise here to leave my property alone to SFR4, and maybe even the guy that fronts University Boulevard, and use it as a buffer. And maybe have 30 days to talk to the neighbors of the Highlands and Beverly Heights to see if that would be something they'd be okay with. Does that blow your mind there, Bill?
Were you contacted, or have you contacted the city councilman?
No, I have not.
He hasn't reached out to you either?
No.
Why couldn't we just give them a continuance and let them have a conversation? We usually ask
Nobody's
petitioners.
requested it.
Nobody, yeah. Pardon me?
Nobody's requested a continuance.
I know, I know.
I was going to ask if we can do that.
I'm just offering up a suggestion. We usually, when someone comes up with a neighborhood, we usually ask them to speak to the adjoining neighborhood, right?
Right. 100%.
So why couldn't we kind of, through Mr. Pond, ask Mr. Tyner to reach out to the neighborhood and come up with some potential solutions? Because I don't think that sounds that unreasonable, because he's already built the building.
Right.
I mean, and it doesn't sound like he cares if the rest of the neighborhood is zoned SFR1. He just don't want to lose his.
Can we do it?
Well, I can't speak for the rest of Beverly Heights. I can only speak for the one property and the only property I own in here.
I'm assuming everybody in Beverly Heights know. I mean, I'm assuming it wouldn't have been zoned SFR4 unless somebody in Beverly Heights had wanted it. Now, you said it might have been because of the size of the lot size. So that's interesting. I don't think we've ever had this. This is a new one.
Can we do that? Can we do that?
Sorry, can we do what?
Can we ask for continuance for them to talk?
Y'all are able to
Because
vote to continue if that's.
ultimately, the Councilman Tyner is going to vote on this. We're a recommending body, right?
Yes.
So they're going to vote on this with his input to the council. So all we're asking him is to contact his own constituents and go through it for maybe with a meeting, right? He would do that anyway, I'm sure.
Legally, can this,
Right,
we can't ask for a continuance.
Well, that's what
It's ideal, but
that's what I'm asking. Can we legally do that?
I mean, as far as the petitioner, Zach, you're the petitioner. Ask for it.
I would say, it might be beneficial to have a vote at this meeting tonight, and y'all can continue if you chose to do that. It's your decision, but then Mr. Tyner could reach out in the interim between Planning Commission and Council to Mr. Furman.
Well,
what is
Zach,
that?
while I appreciate what you say, I think Mr. Rumsey's correct. I'm not sure we've had one this in-depth in this situation. And I fear that there may be some others down the road that didn't get, didn't know about this, and their subdivision, albeit this is a special case. I think this being a special case, in my opinion, I think it's a good place to hit the pause button and let these groups have conversations with the guy that brought it before this to see if, hey, we want to vote, and then it go to the city council.
Right.
And then we all know what's going to happen there. And/or we put a pause, let these two groups try to come up with some sort of compromise and see if it works out in itself. I mean,
Because I think to that point, I think that's going to give us more of a comfort level to vote with a clear conscience to do it that way.
100%.
That's why I asked that question, so I agree with.
I don't like kicking the can down the road anymore, but I think this can needs to be kicked.
Because we may, like Tim said, we may have somebody that wants to have a voice, and they won't get it, without that meeting together. So
I mean,
think
there may
that
be
helps.
5 people that are planning on duplexes that are about to think
Correct.
that they may be about to lose that right.
That is
Or
correct.
Furman may be the only one.
That's
And if he is, then at least Councilman Tyner could discern that and cut it off right there.
That's correct.
let's let Mr. Furman continue if you'd like.
I hope that's not an unreasonable request. Also, I understand the concerns of the neighbors. I mean, I get what you're talking about, the height, but I think the height in SFR4 and SFR1 are 35 feet, and the guy next door to me is probably as tall as the one I'm building right now. And Zach, I sent you a rendering of what it would look like. I'm happy to share that to kind of show the people of Beverly Heights and the Highlands what it's going to look like. I mean, it's not going to be some cheap throw-together building. I mean, I'm going to spend a considerable amount of money and take good care of it. I'm a local landlord, and I live across the street in Buena Vista. If you got a problem, I'm happy to take care of it. So, and there's parking around back. Yes, you go through the left side of the property, and there's enough cars to park 6 easily, and I think 8. I don't think I have any further comments, but if you got any questions, I'm happy to answer them.
I think there might be some others of interest on your
Okay.
behalf. Would anyone care to support
Thanks.
position of Mr. Furman's? Please come forward, state your name and address for the record, please.
Also, to clarify on the continuances while Mr. Quarter's coming up, it says the commission may, on its own motion, continue the hearing on any petition other than a subdivision plat to such future date as it may determine.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hey, Blake Quarter, 1306 Queen City, Tuscaloosa, 35401. We own one house in here, like Mr. Furman. We're lot 15. We rebuilt after the tornado. Main concerns are for framework. Our construction company, our industry was involved in framework. We were up here for a lot of those 31 meetings that you guys were. And a lot of time and effort was put into that. And I worry, I'm not a big arguer of the precedent, but I worry the precedent that this sets for other places in our city. You know, neighborhoods don't like what the adjoining property is zoned, and now they can just come to a councilman and come back up here and undo it. I think that puts you guys and ladies in an awkward position. Primarily in Beverly Heights, I think SFR 1, every house there will be non-compliant with SFR 1 based on the minimum square footage size. So if another tornado comes through, I don't know how you would rebuild any of those houses under SFR 1. I think Mr. Pond said that's why they went to SFR 4. But yeah, mainly those 2 points, that the undoing of framework concerns me with the time and effort that was put in there from all the stakeholder groups in the city. And then also just from a personal standpoint of having a piece of property that I can't improve if something happens.
Are you willing to meet with the adjoining neighbors in conjunction with a,
Yeah, I mean,
led by Mr. Tyner then?
I don't come up here much. My brother comes up here a lot more, but every time we come up here, y'all ask, have you met with neighbors? And if we haven't, y'all kick it back to us to meet with neighbors. I think that's fair.
Mr. Carter, let me say something about precedence, especially in this case. We've got a sitting councilman that this body serves as a recommendation to the city council. If this decision goes to the city council, the sitting councilman has influence over the city council. I think in this case, this precedence needs to be set for the ability for both sides to have a clear conversation and try to figure this out.
Agree.
Fair enough?
I agree with that, 100%. That's what you would ask of me if I were the petitioner to take a subdivision and rezone the entire thing. I think that's fair.
Thank you, Mr. Carter.
Thank you.
Anyone else care to speak against this request? Okay. All right, having heard none, we'll close, and I think there's
Mr. Hamler has his hand up.
30 seconds. Come back up.
New information.
About 60.
You know, I don't want to get in the weeds on anything. I don't get in the weeds on mediations. We didn't in court. We tried not to do that. But the notice provisions, I mean, I understand that this happened as a package, but also, honestly, nobody goes to the city's website to look. We didn't get notice individually. I understand it may be impractical to do that for a citywide zoning, but it sounds like we're negligent because we didn't find out about it, but nobody notified us at all.
Homeowners associations, builders, I mean, Judge Hammer, you know I have a lot of respect for you, but I don't buy that argument. It went on too long, and it was too public, and there was every effort that could possibly be made to reach out to city residents to participate. And so I just can't agree that it sneaked up on you somehow.
I mean,
I don't know what else, I can't imagine what else anybody here could have done.
If one person in the Highlands had known about it, we would have all known about it. And anyway, I won't get down the weeds, I'm sorry. If there's some kind of, are we saying that, could there be a moratorium until a final decision is reached for no new permits to be issued?
Until it goes through, and well, I don't know about the moratorium on new permits, to be honest with you. It would push it another 30 days. I can't answer that, but what I can answer is that I think that's the best option for this particular issue at this current junction.
Okay, and we're here tonight just to ask for the rezoning back. You know, that's what we're asking, but,
But you understand that, sounds like Beverly Heights was very lucky in this tornado, because I know a lot of the houses in Highlands were hurt. I mean,
A lot of Beverly Heights was injured. you know.
so, in other words, Beverly Heights was very fortunate, because if a lot of those houses had been completely blown away, I mean, they were? I mean, because how did they build back if the lots are not of the size? Did they have to ask for a variance?
So they would just have to meet the setbacks. So if, you know, the setback in SFR 1 for a rear is going to be 35. I think in the SFR 4 it's 25. So you have a smaller parameter that you can build in.
Was that the same under R1?
Yes. Yeah.
So I guess
We had
the
R1 and
question is,
R4.
if something was destroyed under R1, how were they able to build back then? You're saying, but just by setbacks?
So it was zoned RD2 or RD1 prior to framework, because it was part of the Tuscaloosa Forward plan with
All
the
right, so help
mixed-use districts.
So
and
what
everything.
would be comparable to RD1 now? Yeah.
Well, RD1 did only permit single-family detached homes, which is
Now, my question is, we kind of went back to R1 became SFR1, right?
right.
So what was RD1? What did RD1 turn into in the SFR world?
So it'd probably be comparable to an SFR4 or something like
So
that.
is that
From a
that
lot
was the
size
genesis
perspective.
of the recommendation to take it to SFR4 then? Would that be correct?
Yeah, and SFR3 has a smaller lot size, and that would be only single-family detached homes, so that's an option as well.
So in reality then, we're not really taking it from SFR4 to SFR1, would not be comparable to saying that we're going to take it 10 years ago to,
Right, because it was
RD.
R1 prior to the tornado. It was R1 prior to the tornado, and then RD1 after the tornado.
Get case in point.
Yeah.
These are the things that current owners need to understand. And these are the things that need to be vetted out prior to coming up here all upset at us. And they need to have these conversations. We need to educate.
What does RD stand for?
Residential detached 1.
And really, from where I'm coming from, is Mr. Tyner, although he's very influential in this city and has been for years, we should really treat him no different than any other petitioner. We should ask him to go to his constituents and communicate this, just like we would Brock Quarter, or the Quarters, if they were building a subdivision or a commercial development adjoining, what's the one down on McFarland? We asked them ad nauseum to communicate with the neighborhood. I think, Mr. Tyner, if they can have a meeting, and they either come up with some solutions or they don't, and we don't find ourselves in any worse spot, at least we get to vote with a little bit more information, right?
thank you.
thank you, Mr. Hammond. Thank you. All right, we're going to close, and I think everybody's kind of stated the case. I don't know if there's, I think the desire is to have happen. Question is, does anybody care to make a motion for a continuance?
I motion.
Second.
So I got a motion and a second for a continuance.
For 30 days, right?
I mean, it's usually 30 days, right? Okay. And before we do that, I think we ought to state, I think it's been stated very well why we want to do it, but I think we should really implore the councilman to really work with all parties here and hopefully be able to come to a good understanding. I'm not saying compromise, but an understanding that we got to be careful precedent that we could be setting here. I think we've seen it happen a couple times in this last 6 months, and I've been here 17 years, and I've never seen it like this. And I worry about these precedents and then, the power of certain individuals, sometimes absolute power can corrupt absolutely. So I worry about that.
This seems like a charming, single-family neighborhood, okay? It seems that way, all right? But it was rezoned. I can walk in both sets of shoes. If I inherited a lot or if I bought a lot and after following that rezoning, and then you just flippantly zoned it back, I'd probably have an attorney call you, okay? Now, that being said, you look at the neighborhood, if they can stop it now, but there may be 10 Mr. Furmans lurking out there right now watching this. So I think that needs to be reconciled right now. And before we get real legal, before we get knee-deep in some lawsuits, because it could be considered flippant. I mean, we rezone it based on the size of the lots, which makes sense, according to what Zach's saying, that it didn't meet the requirements of SFR1. We rezone it, and now he catches heat from a very nice neighborhood. Both neighborhoods are nice. Both neighborhoods are nice family neighborhoods, and I understand that. But Mr. Furman really did nothing wrong. He just was following the code, and he was looking for an opportunity. The question is, how many more Mr. Furmans are there? And I think if this were any other petitioner, we would ask him to communicate with the neighborhood. He needs to communicate with his constituents anyway. And so I think we can come back in a month from now, and I bet we have a clearer picture. Hopefully they'll come up with a solution. Whether it's Mr. Furman's or Mr. Corder he may have a problem with that, but at least they can get in a room together, and we don't have to fight. We don't have to be a part of that. Right.
All right, so we had the motion, we made a few extra comments. Take a voice vote on this. All those in favor of continues for 30 days, say aye. Aye. Those opposed, ayes have it. Y'all are free to, you're free to leave if you like to. There's a lot of people here that will give you a couple of minutes to exit if you'd like. Oh, really? All right, all parties, please exit the chamber, please.
Yeah. Right. I was thinking that. I was about to say that, but I know.
Damn, kind of noisy, aren't they?
All right, should we keep rolling?
Let's speak real loudly.
Next up, we have a companion case, Brixton, 3 parts here. We have an annexation, rezoning, and a subdivision. This is 57 acres between Old Colony Road and Forest Oaks Lane, 144 single-family lots as a general plan development. Getting into this, you can see that piece of property. Today, we're just adjacent to the towns near the dam. You see that lot today is vacant. You can see that area to be annexed in the blue hatch. You might recognize this property as we looked at the maps and the names. So just a little history. You saw this April 2024 as Lou's Landing. It was denied, came back January 2025, was continued to the February meeting where it was approved and recommended for the annexation rezoning. In April 2025, the rezoning was approved by council. Since then, the annexation has expired, so they are back now with the same request you saw in February. So getting back to the annexation petition, they're asking to annex for the residential subdivision. This is identified as a primary expansion area. Here are our department comments on the annexation. Moving into the rezoning, entering city limits as SFR1, they'd like to rezone to GPD, general plan development, 144 single-family lots, 7 open spaces. You can see the surrounding zonings today. They'd like to do this rezoning for that residential subdivision. You can see that overall site plan here, which we'll get into detail here, but looking a little bit at the plan developed narrative, 57 acres, 144 lots, 4 phases, single-family homes, 60-foot width lots, as well as estate lots. They're looking at 2.5 dwelling units per acre, and they're looking to do the general plan development to protect the natural areas that would provide recreation. They'll have architectural guidelines, and they're looking at a price between $500 and $850K. Now, zooming in, looking at the plan more in detail, starting at the north end, this is off of Forest Oaks Lane. You can see those 60-foot lots as we continue to move south, as well as the open space till we finally get down to the end near Old Colony Road. Here are the typical lots, so the 60-foot standard lot on the left and the state lot standard on the right. You can see the setbacks proposed. Here's a summary of all the lot sizes. So looking at 135 60-foot wide standard lots, 9 estate lots, overall 144 units at 2.5 units per acre. This is just a sample of some of the floor plans and elevations that were in the packet. So just a couple different options here, more detail in the packet. And here's a sample of what a streetscape may look like. Here's the entrance off of Old Colony and some signage. Lastly, looking at the subdivision, so 144 lots, 7 open spaces. Here's that plat with contours, without. 2 variance requests. We received 4 comments, 3 in opposition, 1 kind of with some more questions and more neutral. Do you have any questions for staff?
So this basically just expired,
That's correct.
and I'll ask this of the petitioner as well, and nothing has changed.
That's correct.
Just clock ran out.
Yep.
Okay. Petitioner.
Boppy Isaacson, 68 Ventures. A few familiar faces up here and a few new ones. It's unfortunate for us to have to come back in front of y'all. This was a lapse in administrative oversight, I guess, on our end and some others. We delayed the annexation process for the benefit of the land seller as we were working through the civil plans. We were unaware that that step of annexation that was supposed to follow suit, I guess, on the following agenda did not take place. We have proceeded, I guess, in good faith with the civil plans and have submitted them to the city engineering department, and they have reviewed them in good faith as well. So I think as the city clerk indicated, this project is the same form that you approved approximately 11 months ago, and we're asking for your consideration to approve it again tonight.
One of the things I think we talked a lot about buffering from the towns and all of those. I think we all got to a good spot there. One of the other things we were really, I think, high on as well, and you kind of agreed to, I believe, originally, was a lot of the building that was done in the towns and Waterfall and High Grove, all that area. Some of those builders were talked about being part of this project. Is that still the plan?
That is very much still the plan.
Okay. Have y'all got to, I've had a year. Have y'all worked on finalizing those arrangements?
We recently sent out a request for proposals from different builders. I think one of them, Matt, was actually here earlier tonight. And we are waiting to choose on which builder we proceed forward with, but we have not chosen a builder as of today.
One of the things that we've got comments, one of the things we always hear about every development, new development, is adjoining neighbors are going to talk about property values, traffic, schools, et cetera. I've yet to hear ever of a neighborhood that was built next to a neighborhood that property values went down. I'd love to have an example of that if that's the case. The reason I think I like that so much is because we know the quality of product that these local builders built in these neighborhoods I just mentioned. And that would be, from my perspective, a very comforting thing to know that those same type of builders would build a very good product in that area, and that protects those adjoining neighborhoods. So that's why I asked that question, because again, we hear it if we succumb to that argument that it's going to decrease my property values, we would not have any neighborhoods anywhere, because everybody would be saying no. We wouldn't have the towns. So those in opposition probably are built in a house that somebody was against. So anyway, I got a little little soapbox here, I apologize, but I want to know that what we talked about and we agreed to a year ago plus is what we're going to see here.
That still remains the same, and just as a quick reminder, I guess, to the body, our CCNRs were fashioned off the towns as well as our architectural restrictions. Those remain in place in this development, and I believe we have some 65 pages worth of CCNRs that cover our development restrictions, including the open space requirements, types of plantings, the type of mailboxes. It's a very restrictive set. And just to also reiterate one other thing is we said publicly in this body forum, I believe last time, that D.R. Horton would not be a part of this project. I just want to reiterate that is.
We didn't say that.
I myself am reiterating that to the body public today. So.
Any other questions for the petitioner?
Mike, no, what did we do with we're still opening up the road to the towns, right?
Yeah, yes, sir.
That's going to remain like it was. We agreed to that last time.
We did. In the, to his point, we've gone through a plan review, issued the engineer some comments, and I actually received a revised set of plans today. So we'll be making sure the comments were addressed and standing ready to approve the LDP once all the approvals are done.
I still would like to see some work on that Yorkshire Lane transition right there where it ties into it, where it doesn't go to that abrupt change in pavement buildup. I'm sure that y'all can come up with something during the LDP phase that would complement that, correct? Thank you. The only change I saw was the fountain in the front. Was that, was that there on the last, the signage at the front, there was a picture of it?
It should be the same monumentation signage from prior.
Yeah, so you're gonna have a fountain?
Correct, we will have a fountain.
Okay. I didn't remember seeing that.
A strong focus was put on the
I'm
front.
excited. Great. Okay. Thank you.
Any other questions for the petitioner? Thank you, sir. Do we have any sign-up sheets for this? We did have.
Yeah, all the sign-up sheets were blank, so no one signed up for any of the cases.
Out of courtesy, we'll ask anyone who care to speak against these requests. Please come forward. Anyone care to speak in favor of this? Please come forward. Okay. Having heard none. All right, Commission, before us we have a companion case, the Brixton, which everybody's understanding is there's been no changes from what we previously approved over a year ago. That being said, do we want to take the annexation first, or are we going to do the, okay. All right, Commission, before us we have annexation 0126, annexation of 57 acres. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Those opposed, ayes have it. Commission, before us we have GPD 0126, the Brixton, those 57 acres, from SFR1 to GPD. Do I have a motion and a second?
Motion to approve?
Second.
Mr. Rumsey?
Yes.
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 Yes?
Yes.
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 Yes, motion approved. Commission, we have before us PS 0126, the Brixton, the 144 single-family lots, 57 acres. It's been rezoned to GPD 0126, annexed on 0126. 2 variance requests. Engineer, I forgot to ask originally, is there any issues?
No issues.
No issues with the variance requests of cul-de-sac length and turnarounds and lot configuration. Do I have a motion and a second?
Motion.
Second.
Ms. Hornsby?
Yes?
Yes.
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 Yes, motion approved.
Mr. Chairman?
Yes.
I apologize, but I'm going to have to leave early.
I think we're about to be almost done, so
I know.
you're granted.
I know, but.
I understand. Thank you, Ms. Horn.
It's unusual. We're rescheduled meetings. Double booked.
That's all right.
All right, Commission, we'll move into a preliminary plat next. This is S0126, resurvey of lots 43A and 44A, the resurvey of lots 43 through 47 Edgewater Phase 1A. This is a reconfiguration of 2 lots on approximately 6.8 acres located at 11949 and 11933 High Point Circle. This is not in city limits You can see we're pretty far north on the lake, on Highway 43. You can see the lots today, there is an existing home, and there is an error in the tax maps. It's 2 existing lots today. As you can see here, they're just moving that lot line a little bit. You can see that with contours and without. We have 1 variance request. We did not receive any public comment. Do you have any questions for staff?
Engineering on cap sewer.
We're okay with that request.
Thank you. Petitioner.
Mike Hicks, with Herndon Hicks Associates, 2728 Lurleen Wallace Boulevard, Northport. Originally, Brian Hurd owned Lot 43 and 44, and the owner of Lot 45 wanted to purchase Lot 44, all but a 10-foot strip. We did the subdivision 22, excuse me, and unfortunately, the owner of Lot 45 passed away before they were able to finish the deal, and his widow is not able to follow through with the agreement. So what they've done is agreed to split the original Lot 43 in half, thus making 43B and 44B. Y'all follow all that?
Not really. Why would you go to 43B and 44B? It's out of curiosity.
Because they were already 44A and 43A. So this will be the 3rd subdivision. This will be their 3rd iteration here.
Okay.
As long as their mail gets delivered.
That's a bit.
Anyone care to speak for or against this petition request? Having heard none, bring back up the one variance request, please. Commission before us, we have S0126, the resurvey of lots 43A and 44A on Edgewater Phase 1A with 1 variance request of cap sewer. Engineering has no issues with. Do I have a motion and a second?
Motion. Second.
Mr. Rumsey.
Yes.
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 Yes, motion approved. Any other business?
Little bit of other business. 1 street vacation tonight, that's VO 126, vacating .02 acres, a part of the right-of-way known as 14th Street, abutting Lot 4 of the FB Clements resurvey, Council District 4. So you can see we're right off of 359 here. I can see that sliver in red to be vacated. And just here's some detail on that right-of-way to be vacated. And to remind you, you saw this townhome subdivision, I believe, in October or November. This was part of that subdivision for those townhomes. Here are department comments. We did not receive any public comment. Do you have any questions for staff?
How much money are we going to get for this little annexation? Or not annexation, but we're going to make them pay a good amount of money for it?
I think it's going to be pretty pricey.
Okay, good.
I think they ought to feed the city lunch one day.
Exactly. All right, anyone care to speak for or against? All right, Commission, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, ayes have it. Any other business or any other thing? Then we are adjourned.